heard that before.
Melissa,
Yeah.
I hear you have questions.
I have questions.
You have questions.
And
Lay it on me.
First, I want to share something with you that I think will make you so happy.
Ready?
As we talked about last week, today is a big day.
Today
is a big day.
It's a big day.
And in hold.
You did not.
Jupiter.
Oh my God, with the kick and everything. Oh my God, I can't. You
Jupiter,
are
Venus.
Adorable. Jupiter, Venus conjunction. You got the green for Venus.
Yes.
And
Chart harmony. Chart harmony, baby.
Is all the glitter.
I thought you'd be so happy.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy. That's amazing.
Getting ready. Oh my gosh. Jonathan said, oh my gosh, you're wearing sequins. And I was like, yeah, Jupiter. And he's like, okay.
You know, I think that's the amount of acceptance that I want from everybody is like, if you're curious, ask me questions. But if you're like satisfied that I just said for Jupiter, then that's the answer.
Yes.
Because glitter for Jupiter. Oh my, I love those so much. And you're adorable in them. Oh my God. The shoes though. I got it. What is your question?
My question is this. Okay. So per your aligned hustle calendar.
Yes.
That you share.
Yes.
Because it is super helpful.
For me too. This is basically the calendar I always do for myself anyway. And then I sell it.
Yes, as you should. Because it's brilliant.
Thank you.
Notably, this month, I see that on the 29th of August, Pluto, who I love and adore because Pluto is indeed a planet.
It is.
Let him show you. He's not a planet. What I see is that since 1953, Pluto has been in bounds, not out of bounds. Whatever does that mean? Please tell.
Pluto's really interesting in that regard. And in fact, not only has Pluto not been out of bounds since 1953, starting August 29th, 2025, he is going to regularly go out of bounds every year for a little bit. And I'll explain what all that means. Yearly until 2035. So we've got a decade of Pluto showing us Pluto out of bounds each year for a little bit. And then after 2035, he does not go out of bounds again for 64 more years. So we are about to experience the only Pluto out of bounds decade in our lifetime still to come. And since we weren't born before 1953, we never done had one before. Okay. Eventually, Pluto will stop going out of bounds altogether because the declination that makes the planet go out of bounds is getting narrower and narrower. So the out of bounds experience is getting fewer and farther between until it gets to the point where Pluto no longer goes out of bounds at all. What does out of bounds mean?
May I ask very quickly?
You questions, I answer. Yes.
Declination. You use the term declination.
Going to get
Is there an easy way to describe? Okay. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
What happens on every planet is this shimmy, this wobble. Because, you know, we're all doing this. We're doing this. That's our orbit. And here's the sun. And we're all, this is me coming down around, but because the sun is a ball. It's not a stick. Wait, let me use a plate. This is my Uranus plate because there's the rings. So we'll use the back of my Uranus plate. This is the sun. No, we're not going to use a plate at all. We're not going to use a plate at all. Anyway, sun, our planet is going round while it is going around the sun, right? So is everybody. While we're going around, we're vibrating and wiggling, and the axis is actually very slowly tipping and changing its angle to the sun we are going around. This is one of the things that we measure to determine out of bounds, yes, but also how eclipses happen. The nodes are involved. The nodes are not a real thing we could go visit. They are a mathematical point. There, I want to share my Align Hustle calendar is what I'm on right now because you said it and I brought it up. I'll put this link in the chat. The graphic. Oh, that's a real easy graphic. I like that. This is the planet on an axis going and tilting 23 degrees, 26 minutes, 23 degrees, 26 minutes, not considered out of bounds until beyond those degrees and minutes. Very important. These are not the same degrees and minutes that we see here. So as soon as I said 26, 23, 26, 26, 23, as soon as I said, as soon as I said 23 degrees, 26 minutes, if you went, I have something at 23 degrees, whatever, different thing we're measuring. We're using the same measurements, but we're not measuring the same thing. It's like looking at longitude versus latitude. All right. Okay. So with the chart, we are, where is that planet by degree to our natal existence at the moment of our birth, or in this case, the moment of the chart of the right now. But with this
like that's more like a clock.
So right. And with this, we're looking at, and in our wobble, how tilted are we toward the face of the sun? Here's another way to look at it. I really like this one. So the earth is this center here. All of these words are in some other language, so I don't know what they are. But I mean, I can imagine. These are planet moving on axis and moon moving around planet and all of this moving around sun. Here's the sun. The ecliptic is this little guy right here. And the points at which it crosses here and here, when it crosses with itself, my coach Natalie described it as bangle bracelets that get tangled with each other at a point where they cross. That's what creates eclipses at those nodal points or those ecliptic crossings. So it's also why when you're watching the moon, you can see night to night, it may be lower or higher in the sky at that same time of day. And that is part of our movement as well as its. And going out of bounds basically just means we have stretched the limit of the tolerance of degrees to beyond, and the declination is what we are measuring. To get the long answer to the question you asked about that word, what we are measuring instead of our placements astrologically, we are actually looking at the declination, the degree at which we are declining or rising on the ecliptic.
And that's for each planet. Each planet we can look at all of that.
Every planet is doing some kind of tilting. And that's why I got so excited about Pluto, because when I learned that Pluto will eventually stop tilting enough to ever go out of bounds, I'm like, maybe by then we will have fully accepted Pluto's power in our hearts. And the thousands of years from now, when it no longer goes out of bounds, it's because it won't have to. Now, but we're here to talk astrologically. What does it mean astrologically when something goes out of bounds? There's a great couple of articles that I will also put links to in the description as we were having this conversation. They do not exist there, but they will when people are seeing this. So there's the astronomy of it, if you like the science, how often things go out of balance, and then also the interpretation. And here's what's cool. Planet Sun, first of all, not a planet, but does not go out of bounds. The moon is out of bounds 15% of the time. So it's pretty common, not the majority of people clearly, but 85% of us are born without a moon out of bounds. 15% of us are born with a moon out of bounds. And I am going to explain what that means astrologically. Mercury goes out of bounds 13% of the time, Venus 12%, Mars 17%. Mars likes to go out of bounds. Jupiter 1% of the time. It's rare. Saturn's done. Saturn has done what Pluto is someday going to have done, which is be finished. Saturn is finished going out of bounds. It doesn't happen. Uranus goes out of bounds 8% of the time. Neptune, done. Check. Doesn't have to do it anymore. Pluto, 10% of the time. Chiron lunar nodes, not counted. Okay. Right. So where things are out of bounds in your natal chart, which is possible this percentage of the time, So just like being born with things retrograde, you can be born with things out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Being born with things out of bounds means those things don't know how to act. They lost their rules.
Mm-hmm.
So you remember the formula, the
Oops.
planet, right? The planet is the what, the sign is the how, the house is where it shows up in your life. So we look at the planet is the what. And if you were born with, say, your moon out of bounds, we would go, that is your what? Getting needs met, feelings of
Mm-hmm.
safety, nurturing, connecting with mother or other parenting factors that are meant to make us feel safe and held.
Mm-hmm.
People born with moon out of bounds tend to not have had that kind of childhood and tend to have chaotic attachment styles,
Okay.
not secure attachment,
Mm-hmm.
and they tend to be challenging when it comes to getting their needs met or how they feel safe. I will use as an example my husband, former Marine,
Mm-hmm.
abusive childhood, will not ask for his needs to be met, never feels safe, diagnosed paranoid PTSD. And he always thought that was because of military. And his therapists have let him know, no, you chose military because it aligned with what you already were.
Right.
And I'm like, that's his moon out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Out of bounds moon does not know what it means to feel safe or to get your needs met or to be nurtured in moon ways. So if you go, oh my God, that's, we got 15% of the people on this planet are like born with that kind of moon. Yeah, that tracks, right?
Yeah.
Right. So,
Based on what I do and see almost every day, that makes sense, really.
right.
Really.
So let's go through then. If you got a Mercury out of bounds, Mercury's what is how we communicate, how we learn, how we use words, written or spoken. So for the 13% who are born with Mercury out of bounds, what would you imagine their communication style is?
I mean, are you asking me?
I am,
Okay.
because you
I
know
mean, I
things, and
imagine
you
also that it would be maybe a little more disorganized, maybe difficulty either in talking too little, talking too much, having difficulty processing maybe information, might be curious, but
this
some
could also be
difficulty in
our on the spectrum. This could be neurodivergent
yes.
scoring, especially where verbal is
Mhm.
an issue.
Right.
It's also geniuses.
Right. Anywhere, like
Yes, because how
either
you
or.
think, like some of the most brilliant artists ever in history were born with out of bounds Mercury, because that Mercury without rules goes, I'll think the way I want to think.
Mhm.
Venus out of bounds. What's the what of Venus? Love, money, enoughness.
Mhm.
So an out of
So
bounds.
can it go in both directions? And if something is out of bounds, can it be a little like exaggerated on either side?
That's right.
Okay.
Exactly. Because basically what out of bounds means is no rules. And if you just remember that, then whatever planet you're looking at suddenly lost its rule book. And so
Mhm.
it's what is still it's what. It just doesn't know how to act. That's the way it
Okay.
would have been said in my childhood. You don't know how to act. And you don't know how to act means you're not following the rules. So
Right.
you know what the rules are, but you don't know what it is to follow them if it's out of
Mhm.
bounds. And so Venus says love, money, enoughness, and out of bounds says love all the like all the relationships. I'm like it's going one to the next. I'm a polyamory, yes, but also maybe I'm going to marry people, have secret lives, and be married to different people and have whole secret families because
Mhm.
I want that love every kind of where, and maybe there's something else that feels secretive and enjoys that. There are places where this sort of out of bounds can, be a gambling addiction could be a Venus out of bounds because money. And
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be in the negative. It could also be your brilliant inventors who come up with something
Right.
that does incredibly well and money just flows, but also then they don't see money as a thing to get all that excited about.
Right.
because they don't have the same
Mhm.
rules of the society that we
About
enter
money.
into. Right. Mars out of bounds. That's the planet of action taking and
Mhm.
desire, fighting, fucking. So
Yeah.
what's an out of bounds Mars?
Well, we can warring, skipping from one thing, going from one thing to the next, always doing something. Possibility maybe of sex addiction or,
Exactly.
violence. And then the other way might be difficulty getting initiating much of anything.
That's right. Exactly. It's burnout. It's also can't get motivated
Right.
because can Mars do what Mars does? Out of bounds, it's harder. By the way, one of the reasons I'm obsessed with Out of Bounds is because it is such a great candidate for doing chart harmony, because the kinds of
Right.
things that help these planets do better if you are born with things out of bounds include little bits of nurturing for that planet. Nurturing may even be the wrong word, just little
Mhm.
bits of contact, little bits of connection with the
Mhm.
planet in question. Jupiter, we don't have a lot of these folks to contend with, but a Jupiter out of bounds, that's trust, faith. It's also cults and religions and leaders that say, follow me all the way to the Kool-Aid and the Nikes. And
Mm.
right.
Escapism.
Absolutely. Big escape, big escape. And then jumping to Uranus, where am I not free? And if I'm not free,
Yeah.
I'm going to fuck things up. How can I be innovative? So this is like chaos for chaos sake.
Mhm.
And Pluto that's going
Tell
out of
me about
bounds. Pluto
tell
that's
me
going
all about that.
Pluto's going out of bounds on the 29th of August and will stay out of bounds. Hang on. Mm-mm-mm. Did I not put an end date? Where is the end date on my cute little calendar? Okay,
Uh-oh.
good. We'll get to look it up together. Well, it's because
Okay.
I don't have the September one yet. That
Oh.
one's still in Canva. It's not designed yet. Okay, so we're going to use this one, and I will have this link in the description. This is my nice overwhelming AstroSeek. I love it so much. It's got all the tools, but boy, can you get overwhelmed over here. We can
Mm.
take any out of bounds planet. How did I get here? You go Astro Tools, Astro Tools. I went to,
Mhm.
yeah, free horoscopes, Astro Tools, out of bounds planets. So you will see, probably I went to various search engines. How did I get here? Various graphic tools. I want to make sure y'all can get here. I will link directly to it, but then we want find bounds. Nope. All right. See, Mercury has stationed. Is it this one? Out of bounds? Nope. For fuck's sake. I'm going to go right back to where I was. I'm not going to worry about how I got here. I will figure that out. More importantly, I will give you the link directly to here. Let's just do that.
Right.
Let's just do that. In
Yep.
fact, here's where you're going to go. You're going to go pull to Pluto. You'll notice Sun is not on here. Saturn is not on here. Neptune is not on here for the reasons we discussed at the last article. Pluto, sure, from 2025, because that's now. Pluto
Right.
out of bounds starts August 29th of 2025 and is out of bounds for 86 days, ending November 23rd, 2025. So Pluto, the
Okay.
planet of transformation, tower card, burn it to the motherfucking ground because it's not getting transformed otherwise.
Yeah.
Pluto of the underworld, Pluto of the I will get this done, is going to have
Mhm.
86 days starting in a couple weeks here to have no rules for how that gets doled out. And again, no rules for the first time since 1953. Yes, Melissa.
I find it interesting that in 2026 in August, which is the time of the oftentimes the national conventions,
Yep.
and then about a month after the election,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be wonky.
Yep. It's going to be out of bounds when we do presidential election 2 years after that.
Yeah,
So in
that's
3 years. we have a period of 10 years where we are going to have some out of bounds action about 5% of the time during this decade. It's not a lot, but how much does it have to be for it to fuck some shit up? And as you see, the number of days starts at 86, and then it goes 120, 140, 151, 155, and then back down 154, 47, da, 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 da. And this is then the jittery, I'm moving past the 23 degree, 26 minute point is then reined in. And this then doesn't happen again for another 64 years. And when it happens in 64 years, it will happen even fewer times for fewer days, et cetera, et cetera. Which, of course, if you would like to, you are certainly welcome to use this to go anywhere you want. Like, here's legit, you can go all the way back to the beginning times. You can go all the way, well, 1800 on this, but there are calendars or calculators that will do this for whatever period of time you want. So why do I pay attention to this? All right. Pluto right now is at 2 degrees 9 minutes Aquarius. So I would specifically look at anybody who has early degrees of any of the fixed signs. So that's going to be your Taurus, your Leo, your Scorpio, and your Aquarius. And when I say anything in the early degrees, I mean 0, 1, 2, 3, even 4. Do you know anybody who has early degrees?
I know somebody. Yeah, I know that I have a 0 degree Jupiter in Scorpio. What?
So you're going to be getting an aspect, which of course square or opposition, because the reason I asked about fixed signs is because those are the hard aspects, those hard angles, those we talked about that last episode. Getting that little check, it's not just going to be your normal Pluto square. You had a Pluto square last year when Pluto was at the same degree of your natal Jupiter.
Yeah.
But it wasn't out of bounds.
Yes.
This time it's going to be out of bounds. The only way we can ask somebody how that feels is to go back and find somebody who was taking notes about this kind of thing in the early 1950s and before.
Long time ago.
Right. Right. I would also say anybody with early degrees air. So that's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And again, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 degrees. You're going to not have a hard aspect, but a trine to your air sign from Pluto. And it's a Pluto with no rules. Does that give you room to transform things without having to stick to the plan? Does it allow you to burn it to the MF ground? I don't know why I'm spelling it now. I just said it like thrice already. But anyway, does it allow you to burn things to the ground in a way that doesn't have to be explained to everybody? Where is it happening house-wise in your chart? So if I may pull up our lovely Melissa and get to this moment in time when we go out of bounds. Pluto out of bounds on the 29th of August, 2025. So we've got Pluto hanging out here in your 8th house. So transforming now without rules, your house of other people's money and the occult. And knowing what I know about your profection year, you will have just entered an 8th house profection year.
Oh boy, that's right.
With Pluto out of
just
bounds.
a few days before. Just a few days.
Girl, you are going to be in an 8th house profection year with Pluto spicy all up in your 8th house.
I love Pluto.
Dude. So both your solar return chart and your profection situation are affected by this.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We'll see how that goes.
And a square to your natal Jupiter. But I really would. I would look back. How was last year's Pluto square to Jupiter? How was it before it went out of bounds? We can find that out.
I
We
need
can
to
go.
think about that.
Right, we're gonna go transiting Pluto square your natal Jupiter, December 27th, 2024, July 19th, 2024, February 20th, 2024. That's it. That's it for exact. But that would mean it was coming up on it 2023,
Okay.
2022. It is now separating from it. It's not going to get back exactly to the same degree.
Well, I can tell you that about those times I made some decisions to, two of the times, just very spontaneously, to do out of the country travel.
Oh, wow. Oh, right. I, yes.
And had like underground transformative, oh my God, experiences.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just remembering the scratches on the bricks that you sent me more recently. I think you have some things happening.
Yeah, I sure do. I need to look
You
at July. Yeah,
do.
that's a big deal.
Okay. All right.
That's exciting. Oh, also, I would like to note that I am very well aware that we do not have a presidential election next year.
No, I knew that. I knew that.
No,
Midterm.
I don't, oh yeah. But at some point I was like, oh my God, what am I thinking? I think I'm just, maybe it's just, I'm trying to do time acceleration.
With good reason. When you said just a couple weeks after the election, I was like, okay, she's talking midterms, and I'm like, I'm sure they're naming their candidates through some, I guess, a convention process in the summer. No,
No, no,
they
no, we're
don't.
not. That
We
I know
only
of.
do
I
the
don't.
convention in presidential
That's,
election years.
that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Look,
Time
I was like,
travel.
maybe there's a Congress experience. Do we do a Congress convention, a con? We should
How
do a
do we know
con.
what we do anymore? We don't know.
You know what? It should be a convicted members of Congress conference, a con. I would go to that. All right. I would buy merch for that. All right. So as
I would
mentioned,
buy merch for that.
so here's another article that will be in the notes. And this is, Stephen Forrest is a great astrologer and has lots of fantastic books and resources for everyone.
Mhm.
But I really like his definition of, these are outlaws, people who are born with with something out of bounds tend to want to leave the normal way things are done. They want convention. Now we're using conventional in a completely different way than the convention that we were talking about
Right.
before. That they want to move out of the conventional way of being. They're geniuses, they're zany characters, they're sociopaths and criminals. Those are the types of examples from the Stephen Forrest part of this article. This I will link as well. And this article here has a really great PDF that is linked at the bottom of that article. So I will so when you are on this article here, which is the Out of Bounds Planets by Lunarium, which has some apps that I like and lots of interesting information. Scroll all the way to the bottom, and you will get this right here where it says download this article. Now, because he sells ads on this page, when you click that, it's going to say download this PDF viewer to view it. No, that is an ad trying to make you think you need to download a thing. It's not trying to be a virus, but it is trying to get you to download something you don't need. So hit no, because it will just open up as a PDF and be on your computer like this. Mine is file users, Bonnie, desktop, and then it's declination and OOB. But so this is an article that he wrote years ago, maybe 3 years ago, where he's got very specific examples of the moon out of bound, Mercury out of bound, Venus out of bound. Like Brooke Shields was born with both Venus and moon out of bound, and she was a child model by the age of 10. And he doesn't mention the problematic parts of how sexualized she was so young, and the genes and the Blue Lagoon and there's Pretty Baby, all
All of that.
but that's what out of bounds moon can be, and out of bounds Venus on top of it, that she's going to monetize that. Yeah, I would see, this is where I would love to work with people when they're writing their autobiographies or they're telling their stories to a biographer. I would love to sit there as an astrologer and say, here's what that was, and let's start adding that to the chapters.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we could annotate books. We could take existing biographies and autobiographies and write the astrology parts. Okay, another
That's
project.
exciting.
Another project. All right. So I took the liberty of doing us. Let's start with you.
Uh-huh.
I put
Okay.
I put us in the out of bounds calculator. Where did this come from? On the out of bounds article that has that PDF link at the bottom, there's at up top calculators. See, oh, good. I got the ad. No, ad. It says right there, ad. Say close.
Close that ad.
Calculator.
Nope.
And then here, that and this is not your account. That's an ad. Ad. Don't do it. And so what you want is your out of bounds calculator. You see why I end up recommending the AstroSeek? Because yes, it also
Yeah.
has annoying ads, but it doesn't do the pop-ups that make you think you need to click.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
So irritating. I
It is.
hate that trickery.
It is. It is. And it's
I
very
fall
effective.
for it.
Very
Fall
effective.
for
That's why
it.
they do it. Okay. So here
Mhm.
is Miss Melissa having an out of bounds calculator done on her. So I put her information in here and it is legit. Where were you born? What date and what time? That's it. And you have no natal out of bounds. But we all have something called a progressed chart.
Yeah.
And it is what our chart does throughout our lives to activate things that came after we were born. And it's by taking the chart of the moment we were born and advancing the sun a day equals a year. Or is it taking, no, lunar progressions. We take the moon and a day is a year. Right. That's why by age 28, you have had a lunar cycle because you've gone 28 years. You've gone 28 days in your actual lived life. Ephemeris. This gets a little like theoretical math, but a progressed out of bounds status means something that wasn't out of bounds now goes out of bounds, and you in your chart are going to walk around like, I got no rules with this. So from age 2 to age 7, Missy had no rules on that moon. It got out of bounds.
Oh, this makes a lot of sense. Oh my God. Oh, may I ask a quick question?
Of course, always.
Is it important? Is it even more significant to note, like if you have certain things that are out of bounds that are really important in your chart, like I have a moon ruled chart. And if my moon is out of bounds and my moon is already like moving and and then it's out of bounds, what does that look like?
So look at my husband with his born out of bounds moon. What is he during his moon ruled year? By perfection. During his moon ruled year, he's pulling on an out of bounds natal moon in the 8th house. His moon is in the 8th house. So he's already spooked and freaked out. And then we go do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. All of that. Now,
Okay.
the difference is you have a natal moon that was not out of bounds, but you will through life have a progression, a moon that becomes out of bounds by progression, which will have an impact on how that year is flavored moon-wise, because the driver of your life car is in fact ruled by the moon. Okay. So you again went out of bounds 16 to 21. Does that track?
Yes, it does.
All right. Then again, 29 to 34.
Yeah. Ooh, pop my gum. Yes.
And then age 44 to 48, moon out of bounds, and Venus. Venus went out of bounds when you turned 44 and is staying out of bounds until you are 74. 30 years, Venus out of bounds.
What? The 44 makes sense for Venus at that time. Huh.
Some changes about how you did love, money, enoughness. Yes. And the rules around them. Yep.
Yes. And the double up with the moon was a challenge.
That I would imagine was a lot, probably also happening around your Uranus opposition and some of the outers doing their little squares and fun stuff like that. Cool. So coming up in the future, we've got moon out of bounds 56 to 61. And then 71 to 76. I can't unhighlight this part where Venus goes back in bounds on when you're 74. And then 84, we're on the porch. By the way, y'all, let me know if you want to be a part of our gang. There's a whole group of us. They're going to get on the porch when we're in our 80s. We're going to shoot heroin in our eyeballs and vape whatever is vaped at that point. We don't actually have to shoot heroin in our eyeballs. It's just whatever the drug is and however you're supposed to do it. We're going to do drink, smoke, and talk shit on rocking chairs on my porch. You're invited.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Moon goes out of bounds 84. Come on by. You'll be having Uranus return. Join us at the porch. And then, oh, you've got Mercury going out of bounds when you're 89. What could be happening at the end of life? 89. What could be happening to make a Mercury go out of bounds at 89? What about your communication skills?
Well,
as you are almost done being an octogenarian?
Right. I mean, there are a few things. I think having difficulty talking, and then also talking to all the things.
How many
past,
people
present, future.
have family or friends that have been nearing their death experience, having full conversations with
Yes.
people on the other side, hanging out?
Yeah.
So just for shiggles, let's look at mine.
Let's
My progressed moon went out of bounds when I was 3. And my first memory is when I was 3. Trauma warning, trigger warning, don't listen. This is where I woke up during a surgical procedure because they did not anesthetize me enough. Boom. Yay. Age 3. Fun times. Definitely stopped feeling safe. Started having phobias. Started having very, very strong reactions to being left alone. Yep. And yeah, that tracks. 8 is when I got mainstreamed, went from Montessori school to an actual public school. And I was in big trouble all the time because I had never been taught the rules of single file line, raise your hands, a bell lets you out of class. If I needed to go to the bathroom, I got up and went, and the teacher got really mad. I got lots of trouble. Out of bounds at 16 to 21. Sure. Let's do that. I got some pictures. Luckily, there was no social. There was no social back then.
Oh my God.
Thank God.
Thank.
No one shooting videos and even photos of most of the shit that went down.
Yeah. I'm so thankful. Oh my God.
All right, age 31 to 35. Big yes. Big yes. Also, by the way, some medical trauma stuff happening in there. That's very interesting. Oof. All right. And in case you're like, Bonnie, why are you talking about medical trauma with Moon? Moon is very much a player in how medicine is done and received in our systems. Moon is the first place that most astrologers will look to see if this is a good chart for you to have surgery under, or to meet with someone for a consult for something that you're concerned about in your body. 43 to 48, big yes. Got sober in that bracket. And so see, I don't go till 58. You get 2 years ahead of me.
Huh.
And then till 63, and then 71 to 76. Where's my Venus out of bounds? Oh, good. I get it. Look at how late after you I get my Venus out of bounds.
I know. That's interesting. Since we're so close in age.
It is. But so remember, the progressed chart takes
That's
the
right.
moon and goes 1 year for 1 day. So the number of days we are apart in our real lives, we are that many years apart in our progress chart.
Yes. Okay.
All that to say, you can do your own calculating about out of bounds, and then come back in the comments here and tell us what you have out of bounds and what it makes you think. Is it natally out of bounds? Has it become out of bounds? Can you track timing that makes sense? What observations might you have about all that?
And once again, just to be very clear, when you're looking at the degrees, people are not to pull up their natal charts and go, oh, I have a moon at 26 degrees. And then thinking that means out of bounds. That is not. Do not do that.
So this is like if I were to tell you, I want you to go west on California toward the Pacific Ocean, and you would start doing that. And then I would say, but when you get to 3rd Street, I want you to then go south. And there you're going to go 15 degrees. You may have been past something called 15 degrees on your California path. It is not the same as 15 degrees on 3rd Street. We are measuring this way for our planetary positions, and that's what's in your natal chart or the mundane chart of the day ever, the horoscope chart. This one is measuring how much do we do wobble, wobble, wobble on the ecliptic, which is part of what gives us eclipses and the way those things cross over one another when going around the sun.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you for that very important reminder. The one thing that I would like to come back to, just to be sure it's clear, when you mentioned that the whole reason this got on your mind was looking at the aligned hustle calendar and seeing that on the 29th of August, Pluto goes out of bounds. That is different than a natal something going out of bounds by progression, which is what this calendar was tracking for both Melissa and me. What you're going to be looking at then is this sort of thing. It is going out of bounds the same way it is retrograding back into a different sign. Like Daddy Saturn is currently in Aries, retrograde, going to come back into Pisces and do the finish him nonsense there. And it's not all nonsense. Some of it's really delicious. And then get back into Aries and have fight. But all that, you are looking at the woo weather in general. Consider that out of bounds is a thing to check, like stuff going retrograde. And all it means is people are not going to know how to act around that thing. So we got our Pluto dates for 2025. Here's our Uranus for 2025, 0. Uranus does not go out of bounds again until 2031. Oh, sweet Jeebus at Uranus in Gemini going out of bounds in 2031 and 2032. I can't with this. I can't with this. Wait, I just have to, for fun, see when, you know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, I do.
Fuck. 47, 48, 50. Okay, cool. All good. Nothing to see here. Okay. So looking at Jupiter, Bonnie, why do you look that up on camera? Why do you look that? I can edit it out. I know I can't edit. Clearly I cannot edit. Okay. Jupiter will not be out of bounds again until 2055. So we got a minute on that. Mars was out of bounds while retrograde.
Yeah, it was a good time.
In Cancer, the sign of his fall, in the shit show that was January 1st, 2025, and so on. So Mars was in such bad shape from January 1st to April 7th. Retrograde, in fall, out of bounds. I'm like, what else? Come at me. Let's go. It's like Lieutenant Dan on the Jenny during the storm. Come at me. Yeah, like, let's go. Bring it. All right.
Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah, Mars, we're going to have another out of bounds later this year. We're going to have one next year, one in 2027, one in 2028 for my birthday, not yours. 2029, so on. Okay, cool. Okay. And again, I would look at that and go, am I in a Mars ruled year by perfection? And I'm going to be out of bounds. Like, that would be interesting for me to know. Venus, we've got one coming up in December. And these are short, a couple weeks. The longest one I'm seeing here is like 60 days in 2037, 58 days in 2028, 59 in 2029. But they tend to be a couple weeks. Okay. And then Mercury. Boop, 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 boop. Mercury was just out of bounds for a couple of weeks in June, and we'll do it again for a couple weeks in November. And then not again until December into January. But this happens several times per year. So tracking Mercury out of bounds can become like tracking Mercury retrograde. Retrograde means snags, revisiting. We have to deal with things not being communicated clearly, details being missed, people being on not the same page. Out of bounds, no rules. No rules.
So when you've got the Venn diagram, the double up, it's like, whoop.
Pay attention. And the moon goes out of bounds a lot, which is why we don't look at the day-to-day of it happening on the aligned hustle calendar. I track the rest of the planets going out of bounds and coming back in bounds, but the moon is doing it multiple times. So I would kind of consider the moon out of bounds in the same category of void moons and long void of course moons, which they are things that happen quite a bit. So they don't tend to be as impactful in the lived now. But in a natal chart, it's definitely significant. And by progression, it is also significant.
Well, there
I
you
said
go.
I wasn't going to make it overwhelming, and I made it overwhelming. I said we were going to do this
Well,
Jupiter hour, and I made it long.
I mean, I think though, yes, and also there is help for that because people can connect with people who know what they're doing. Additionally, you know, it's not meant to be taken in all at once, and so I guess people can listen to a little bit, wrap their heads around that, look up some things, circle back, and slow your roll and just try to take it in and then reach out.
I blame your pants. Yes, queen. Pants, a glitter.
Yeah.
Take that, Liberace. Take that, little Nas X. Glitter.
Yeah.
Glitter. All right.
I think I'll wear these to dinner.
Arby's.
No,
Cracker
I'm treating myself with a dear friend to a fancy, really cool dinner.
Yes, then. Are you gonna get queso? Are you gonna get queso for me? Oh my God, get queso for me.
No,
Okay.
I'm not. No.
Okay. Thank you, Melissa. Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Participate in the comments. We'll come back.
All right.